The grace of God be upon you. Now we're going to continue the first study. If man was perfect, was created in the moral likeness of God, full of unselfish love inside his heart, what happened that actually the mankind is in this mess? The evil is inside us. What happened? Well, we're going to check and understand this right now. In Genesis chapter 2, Bible says that when God created Adam and Eve, the first couple, he gave them an instruction. Verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostril the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasing to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Verse 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So God created man perfect and placed him in a perfect place, but gave him instructions. He gave him liberty to choose whether he would like to continue in this situation or not. If he will obey God or if he will decide to rebel against him. It will be a matter of choice. And the consequence of disobedience was clearly showed. God said that the wage of sin, of this transgression of his commandment, is death. Later on, unfortunately, we're going to see that man did not make the right choice. In chapter 3, Bible says, verse 1, Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God do know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did it. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to me to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree, of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all livings. Verse 22. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand, and take also the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the garden of Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Here we say the cause of our disgrace. Man disobeyed God. If was not for this, all us will be until now into the Eden. That means, this word Eden means paradise. Everything was perfect until the moment in which he committed the first transgression. So the cause of all problems we have today, think of it: violence, we can say selfishness, we can say proudness, we can say a lot of evil things, all of them in a whole bunch, they came as a pack after Adam and Eve chose to disobey God. But Adam and us were not left without hope. God, even this day, purposed in himself to save those who had decayed at that time. On Genesis chapter 3, he gave a promise on verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Here, he was somehow explaining or giving indications that he will provide a medium of salvation from sin and from death. And this is the main point of the gospel, of the message that came from God. God gave us hope. What kind of hope he gave us? We're going to see this in the next video. Please follow us. God bless you.